Uh, good, uh, good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Comrade Funton Daniel. My message. Usually, I do not talk about our factions individually. Usually, I focus on international community because that is the origin of our problems. But my message today is to tell Cho Ayaba. If you get my message, send straight to Cho Ayaba. Cho Ayaba, remove the roadblock in um, Guzang, Batibol, or the roadblock that you have placed and causing miserable and havoc on our local indigenous villagers that they basically have nothing to eat to feed their little ones. Cho Ayaba, I know you live in Oslo. You live in Oslo. Maybe you want to know where I live. I live here in the United States. But our people, we cannot destroy our people in fighting for freedom when they are already destroyed. Let me look in terms of allocation resources. In terms of allocation of resources under La République du Cameroon, the people of Anglophone region in particular, they have the least amount of allocation in terms of allocation of resources. And this is one of the contributing factors that has led to the current problems that we have in La République du Cameroon. And yet, we cannot, if you are a leader fighting for freedom to liberate our people, you can generate money in Oslo. And there are many ways you can generate money in from Oslo. You can do charity, you can do contribution, you can do voluntarily services. You can also let the people of Oslo understand the pain and suffering of your people, and they be willing to contribute for the freedom of our people. But you cannot be inflicting pain upon the people that are already suffering. I mean, allocating of taxes, we would never have uh, the taxes that you impose upon the people that are suffering is disgusting. Usually I do not talk, but when I feel the pain of how the people in ground zero, especially those in Batibo, those in Guzan area, and how they are suffering because of your decision to impose suffering upon them, I call you specifically, Cho Ayaba, pull out the rubbish you impose upon the people of Southern Cameroon. We cannot be suffering upon you. You don't understand. You don't understand. Do you have children? I'm sure if you do have children, then you can feel the pain when the people in ground zero are suffering because of you. I'm sure you don't have children, except you come and break the internet with so much grammar. But if you have children, then you can understand somebody in anywhere in southern Cameroon, but more specifically to the people of Guzan, the people of Batibol, and the entire Momo area in particular, that they cannot even walk. Sometimes they can't even have food. Sometimes they can't even have gari, cocoyam, plantain, just simple to make soup. They cook bitter leaf, even there's no meat or fish, just to mix inside there to eat. And they don't know what will be the next day. And they can't even get out of their own premise because of your inability to make sound judgment, to think the pain the people are going through. In Oslo, you can generate income, you can generate money and assist them, but not exploiting the people that have already exploited. Cho Ayaba, it's time you come into your senses. I usually do not talk about individual, but when I feel the pain of our people suffering, it is time that I bring this attention to you in particular. We cannot get this rubbish. You cannot sit there with prostitute and you expect the people back in ground zero to be contributing 10,000, 15,000, then they send to you when you are outside. The purpose why you're outside is to generate something to help the people back home, not the people back home generating and sent to you. You are the first person that introduced military in Southern Cameroon, but yet no single La Republic army has been killed. It's time we call a spade a spade. I usually do not talk about our each individual fractions. I focus more on the international community. But when I listen the suffering of our own local indigenous people because of your arrogant, ill plan just to frustrate them. Imagine you were in their shoe back home. You don't have food, you don't have gari, you don't have cocoyam, you don't have plantain, you don't have fish. You have to go and fetch bitter leaf and wash it. Probably you don't even have palm oil, given the cost of palm oil now. How do you feel when grandmother don't even have something to eat? They don't even have food. They walk on foot to a certain location. And yet you live luxurious life and you impose them to contribute money and send to you that no single La Republic military is being killed to give you to carry on live your lavish life. Cho Ayaba, this is not the Southern Cameroon we are advocating for. Please send this message to Cho Ayaba. Don't come and break the internet with grammar because it doesn't fit the people in ground zero. Have a wonderful, blessed day. This is Comrade Funton Daniel speaking here from the great state of Texas here in the United States.